change versus acceptance. Like, which one of those do you think comes first? It's Cheryl here on a windy Wednesday. Windy. I was thinking about this a couple of days ago at change versus acceptance. I know something that I learned a long time ago that has made my life a lot better for knowing it. Now, my mum said to me when I was really young, I was about 14, when you know everything and you know it better than everybody else. Well, I did. She said to me, Cheryl, in your life, there's going to be things people that you won't like and that you won't agree with, but you will have to accept it. And at 14 years old, I thought, well, fuck that. Fuck them, I don't have to do anything. However, truth be known, it was sage advice. What I learnt to do was to pick my mark for a start. I mean, there are some things absolutely that you just don't accept, right? Poor behaviour from somebody else, being put upon or harmed or bullied or that kind of shit. No, you don't have to accept that crap. That's not the kind of accepting that I'm talking about. Accepting when maybe somebody's actions are creating a problem at work or at home, or behaviours. There's so many examples, really, that for me, it was really looking at stuff and asking myself, okay, what could I say or do that would change this? And most times there's nothing, or it'd be some grand, big production in my head, When I realised that what it was, there's a lot of things that, one, I shouldn't even have my nose in for a start, because it's none of my bloody business. And why am I getting my nose out of joint over something or someone anyway? So it was about picking my mark and knowing, okay, there's some shit I'm just going to have to accept because that's just how it is. It could be family, friends, a work environment. It might even be road work. Do you know what I mean? You're in your car and you're just getting really annoyed, like, you just have to accept it, right? Because you can't change it. So sitting in the car, grumbling and getting annoyed and cussing people out or just being naff, now it's not going to change it, is it? It's just going to leave you sitting there for the next however long, 20 minutes, half hour, feeling shit. All because of the thoughts in your head, because you simply couldn't just accept something for what it is. Now, me, I was very stubborn, big ego, just as a person, it was pretty radical as a kid. When I learnt to, like I said, choose my mark and realise that simply accepting didn't mean I had to like it, and I wasn't liking it at all. And I wasn't agreeing with it either. But I was saving myself by saying, all right, I'll accept it. It's what it is. Can't change it. Hi, Sarah. So in the act of learning to accept, now when I first started, mind you, this was not easy because I had an opinion on it, or someone had really slighted me, so I was really pissed off, and I had to get over my being pissed off before I could get to where I would accept that they were just being themselves, because most of the time people are annoying you. They're not doing it to annoy you. We just have egos that want to tell us that, everyone has woken up that day just to piss us off or make us happy or whatever. People are getting on with their own life, doing their own thing anyway. So, chances are they don't even know what they're doing. So in staying angry or being pissed off, what are you doing? You're entertaining this ridiculous story in your head that only you know about, because, it can get quite grand if you leave it there. Now, in the acceptance of such things, stuff out of your power. Like I said, I'm not saying to accept poor behaviour from people or bullying or anything like that. And there are things you can change for sure. Laws get changed, governments get changed, lots of things get changed because people don't accept them and they get up and do something. They're not the things I'm talking about. in this video, okay? Now, in the accepting, when you can just accept what's going on, here's the really grand part that happens. When you do that, there's this switch that goes off. Because you've let go of it, one, you've become the bigger person. Let's say that. Not that they're less or you're bigger, it doesn't really matter. You've become a bigger person. You've actually jumped over a hurdle, quietened the ego or the mind, the chitter-chatter that goes on, in order to set yourself free from having that annoyance to something that you cannot change. So here's the thing. A lot of people don't like change. Oh, I don't like change. I don't want to change, whatever. I didn't like it either until I started to understand it. Once I realized that simply accepting the behavior changed me for the better, I didn't actually have to even try. It was just the act of accepting a situation and going, okay. Sometimes it takes a little while. You can say the words. But sometimes I'd like grumble and carry on and have a bit of a tantrum in my head or, oh, screw them or afterwards. But in truth, I'd accepted it. I just needed to be able to step down off my high horse, on my soapbox in my head, and then really just go, okay, and let it out of my body, out of my cells. See, we women, we have a whole different way of going about these things, and it really fills us up. These things, the negatives and stuff, can really fill us up. So once we can accept these small things, then it's released and off it goes. So a lot of things that were attached to it disappear with it. A lot of non-acceptance of things goes when we can accept things, if that sounds a bit weird. We bottle stuff up, we hang on to it. Once you start getting into this action of going, all right, I can't do anything about it, but it's okay because I don't like it. I don't agree with it. However, I'm just going to accept it because I can't change it. I don't want it stuck in my head. I've got plenty of other things I wouldn't mind thinking about. Hi, Donna. Hi, Mum. So, and here's my mum, the clever one that taught me this when I was, know-it-all and 14 years old. She really needs a medal. She lived through Cheryl being young. Anyway, I think we're all a challenge when we were kids. So my message today simply is the things that just drive you nuts. And like I said, they're not governments or laws or stuff like that. They really can be changed, right? But that's another video. These are the things that are closer to home, the stuff you go through every day. Like I said, traffic. It could be some ignorant person at a shop that you go to, you go for your morning coffee or your takeaway lunch or whatever. Now, thing is, like I said, they're not doing it purposely to piss you off or to hurt you or annoy you. In fact, most people that are like that, they're coming from a really horrible place anyway. They've already got a dreadful life. Think about it. If someone's horrible all the time, they're not coming from a place of love and acceptance or a really happy life or whatever. All right. So in a nice way, accepting that they're just going to be that way. You're not accepting their behavior. That's not good. But you're just accepting it. They're just who they are. And you're like, oh, well, I myself, when I run into that, if I can't, I usually smile or I interject with some energy, positive energy. If I can't, all I do is I simply imagine like a big heart, like a big, nice, glossy heart popping out of my chest and going and just exploding all over them. Because that's my way of like, all right, I know you got obviously a bit of a crap day or a bit of a crap life, whatever. Here's some love. I know it works. A lot of people would challenge me on that and, like whatever. I know it works. Now, I accept it. I can walk out of that shop and feel like, hey, I don't think about it again. That's accepting, is you get to the point where you can just like blow it off nearly. It's like the art of allowing, which is a whole other video again. But that's an Eckhart Tolle thing that I learned, the art of allowing. Now that's powerful stuff. God, that was powerful stuff. But for today, I would say anytime you're thinking about change or you want change in your life, positive change, like I don't know what level it would be on because we're all so different. So I don't know what kind of change Betty Boo wants, or, Handy Helen or whoever. But I would actually challenge you to look at it and simply accept it. Have a tantrum in your head, get pissed off, get angry, swear, do whatever you want to do, scream at them in your head. But then get to the point where you realise you are absolutely powerless to change them. And also, for the most part, we really shouldn't have our nose in someone's business to the point where we want to change them anyway, if we're talking about a person. Because I would just reverse the question, how would you feel if someone wanted to change you because it didn't suit them? Your behaviour didn't suit them. Your choices they didn't agree with. Well, you would be annoyed. You wouldn't want someone to change you. How dare they? How bloody dare they? I would think that. So you just turn that around and realise it's the exact same thing. You give them the room to go do and be what they want. You're not saying, hey, I condone what you're doing. You're saying, I just accept that you're going to be like that. I won't be able to change it. So I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to go and be happy. And I'm going to enjoy my life. And the big bonus is, you changed. You became a better person for the decision that you made. You will feel it. The waters, your waters, 60% water we are. This changes your waters. This is a really positive thing. Masaru Emoto is this researcher, Japanese researcher who only just passed away last year, who did the amazing work on water, where he would freeze water and look at it under a microscope. It was water from, I'll just quickly touch on it. In his lab, he had water in one glass and it said, I hate you. Water in another glass, it said, I love you. He had water in a glass that he played head banging, music to, and other ones that he played Mozart and beautiful music to. Now, what he did after doing this for a period of time, maybe just a week, they froze the water and they looked at it under a microscope. Now, I kid you not, if you haven't seen it yet, and if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's pretty amazing. The glass of water that he said, I love you to, and all the researchers said it every morning, was these beautiful, absolutely perfect snowflakes, which is what frozen water is, snow. The I hate you were misshapen and they were green and they were weird. I mean, anyone could have looked at it and seen the difference between the two. So what I'm saying is your waters are affected enormously by your choices. Nobody's going to come and tell you what are your best choices in your life. You know that. These are the things, the stuff that changes your life will be the little quiet words inside of you, the quiet words inside your head, because the greatest challenge is when you come to those times when ego wants to go one way and it has a tantrum, but your higher self and you know you want to go the other way. And these are the times, right, that they're difficult, but they bring change, this really wonderful thing called change. So what happens is as other things change, you become so much better at accepting it because you're more conversant in it. You've already had the dialogue in your head. Oh, I don't like this person, or oh, I didn't like what they said, or whatever it was. And eventually you got to the point where you went, all right, I'll accept it. I'm not accepting the behavior. I'm just accepting it that I can't change it. Done. That when other things come along that you need to change, and it will happen, and it's going to seem uncomfortable because we've only been taught one way to really look at it. Like I've written in my little thing, I think it's to the side there. People saying it's too hard to change. I hate change. I'm too old to change. We just keep hearing the negative about it, and it's a lot of BS, really. Change is fantastic. It's happening all the time. Like, the time changed since you started watching this. You changed since you started watching this. So change is not hard, all right? Experience is the wonderful thing that comes from change. Anyway, I'm going to cut this down. Oh, wow, nearly 15 minutes. I tried to be quick because hopefully, soon today I'll be working on doing the, not closed caption, the words, I can't think what they're called. Anyway, it's a big undertaking. So for today, I would challenge you just to everything that's annoying you, just to look at it and go, okay, does this apply to what Cheryl was saying on that video today? Is it something that I can go, I don't like it, don't agree with it, but all right, I'll just accept it and move on. I'd really love for you to give it a go because it really is worth it. Anyway, for this day, I tried to, if you see over here, yeah, we've got a cyclone coming, I think, it's off the coast, don't know. But we've had this wonderful weather now for a couple of weeks. I love it when it's rainy. I love grey skies. I don't know why. Anyway, thanks again. Take care, everybody. Be well and happy Wednesday. And I'll see you all on Fabulous Friday. Bye.